Put your hands in the galley. Chief little flower, coming at you from my bloody cousin's gorgeous home here in North Carolina. At the time of this recording, it is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Hey, how's it going for everybody? Are we fighting the good fight? Hoorah! Shout out to Mr. Don John. Are we standing the course? Are we hitting reset, getting back on track and staying the course? Because it matters. So, oh my goodness, these past few days have been a little topsy-turvy for me, but once in a while, life seems to throw us out a nice little monkey wrench and says, here, adapt, improvise, and overcome. Can you do it? Or are you just going to melt at the first sign of, at the first sign of conflict? Well, I tell you what, if you're new to my story, thank you for stopping by. I'd make some friends along the way, some general acquaintances along the way. I've been a targeted individual for from the age of 25 to 50, more like 49 ish in there, and on and off for about 25 years, and ever since the COVID pandemic, I had been heavily gang stalked, going on 5 years. So I guess you could say my tenure now is about a 30-year veteran of overcoming Charlie and all of his minions of death and destruction, minions of gossip, slander, and lies, minions of psyop prostitutions. So, but, you know, it is what it is. And so, you know, I was just, I had so much fun going to the hospital. It was a flip side for me because that was my bread and butter where I was a paramedic and then picking up patients from other facilities, sometimes from their home, and various places throughout Texas Medical Center and outlying geographical areas. And so I enjoyed being on the gurney for a change, you know, because it was more of a pleasant sunny side up drive. So I was coherent. I wasn't unconscious, and it was best case scenario. And so I often consider myself as having graduated to indigent status. Because, you know, I'd been a medical professional, one wheeling the gurney and taking care of my patients and, you know, doing my best to be proactive and be the guardian of vicissitude. Vicissitude is a fork in the road that's often brought on in life through duress. And I always considered myself and others of my colleagues as guardians of vicissitude. So it's been a whole crazy ass ride of being gang stalked, being targeted as an individual while I was a paramedic, on the clock, in the ambulance, and also targeted by other doctors. That should concern you people. And targeted by other certified emergency room RNs. That should concern you people. And then, you know, I'm just like, I have had many a experience and held my own throughout it all, because, you know, the biggest thing of one of the primary objectives in targeting anybody is so the psyop prostitute can get rich off of being unethical. That's what it is. No, seriously, that's a secondary effect where they find the cherry on top of, you know, getting their rocks off by being evil to somebody. Because who does evil things? Oh, evil people do. I generally don't consider them evil initially, because I'm sure that the path of righteousness versus the path of working somebody over from the sidelines by being deceitful probably looked benign at the time. But then as the tidal wave of evolution flowed, I'm pretty sure their Jiminy Cricket might have been either stomped out by their own innards in favor of the money, in favor of the gold, just because they were told some lie by somebody else that said, hey, do this to this guy. We're gonna work this guy over. For what? Because somebody said they deserved it. No, because the higher echelon of it is, it's a satanic coven organized criminal hate ring. And, you know, they're Nazis. Okay, I'm just gonna put it there. They're freaking Nazis. Does a Nazi know it's a Nazi? Does a Nazi care to know it's a Nazi? Nazi by honorary indoctrination of becoming Teen Judas, because the historical ideology is Nazi in origin. Straight up Nazi, bitches. There you go. I let the cat out of the bag. Big surprise. Hoorah. Gang stalkers, you're fucking Nazis. For reals. Challenge me on that. The proof is out there, bitches. And then but, you know, whenever it came to me in my walk and I was doing my own thing, minding my own happy little business, you know, being captain of my own ship, doing my own career, and then taking care of my own children. But as it was, there is some jealous ass bitches in the background. Barbara Christine Laus-Regali, that's my ex-mother-in-law. She was FEMA's boo thing for quite a while. What's up, crusty cunt? Is Norman Bates slathering that crusty cunt of yours pretty good these days? What's up, Norman Bates? That would be my ex-husband, Timothy Regali. And then there was my full-blooded biological sister, younger sister, Marcella Maria Landon Comiskey. What's up, cunt? Pretty soon it's going to be everywhere that you were railroading me. I mean, okay, so I am a template. What's happened to me is not a freak incident. This is a very well-oiled machine of the Nazis that was brought in by Project Paperclip. And if you'd done your research and your homework on your own, you'd have a really good grasp on what that meant to us as a society. And basically, if you need me to spoon feed it to you, basically gang stalking, boom, there you go. That's what it's done to us as a society. And it's degenerative, and it has eroded the moral compass of most people, as evidenced by all you gang stalking bitches out in the world that don't care about you railroading somebody just for some fucking money. So I'm going to tell you something for all you gang stalkers out there. You have the power to help end children being sexually molested in that cesspool. You have the power to help end trafficking of people, including the children. How is that, you might say? Well, if you would turn around and do some self-introspection to realize how dastardly your deeds are, instead of squashing your Jiminy Cricket down to a pulp whenever your conscience might get to you. I mean, if you're that far removed from your empathy, that's because you've lost your soul, honey. Anytime you got your palms greased by Willy Wonka over there in that godforsaken treason section of the government that passed out them smallpox blankets to the Indians on the Oregon Trail of Tears, boom, that's your poopah right there. Your poopah of bigots. You know, if you don't know what poopah means, Grand Poopah, that's the leader of a Ku Klux Klan, KKK. Y'all are being spoon-fed bullshit by bigots. Y'all like being bigots? I know some of you guys are like, Team Bigot, yeah. But it looks pretty funny whenever you're Team Bigot and you are a heavy melanated family. Oh, I've been gang stalked by heavy melanated families. And don't even get me started on telling you guys about how I was targeted at a Indian casino, at a Native American casino where I was a cocktail waitress at. So I'm all like, oh my God. The ancestors are rolling over in the graves whenever they allow the targeting of other Native American Indians on a goddamn Indian reservation of a freaking casino. So at the root base of it, it is Hail Hitler. How you guys like being Hitler? You guys comfortable with that? Because it don't matter if you're comfortable with it or not. You have placed your soul in eternal damnation, honeys. your soul salvation is fucked. I'm going to say that with the crucifix on my chest here. Your soul salvation is fucked. Being the minion of the fucking gang stalkers and all of this hell Hitler neo-Nazi bullshit that you guys got going on over here with the targeting of the individual and getting your little psyop assignments from your handlers to teach you how to grow for your goddamn Nabisco treat. The fuck is the matter with you people? Knock it off already. Because if you do, each of you have the power to help bring the cesspool down, to help bring the end of the child trafficking down, to help bring the end of human trafficking. Now, if you stop to consider that if you made a mistake, bitch, we all make mistakes. Some of them are pretty grievous, some of them are pretty minute, and some of them are just in between. It's a whole spectrum because nobody's perfect in this world. Even some of the most world-renowned ex-satanic practicing warlocks have gone public with spilling the beans. You can make a change by turning your pathway right now and then be the driving force to help decentralize, to help demobilize the cesspool that we have come to know as targeting of the individual, targeting of people. And they target kids too, honeys. Hello? I mean, just because I'm all like, you know what? For everybody participating in it, you are enabling the bullying of people on academic school grounds. I would suggest to every parent out in the world, this is not the day and age to allow your children to be placed into public schools because the covenants that are rooted in every vein throughout the American fabric of our society at this very moment, they're fucking in every hand that you can possibly see out in the world with, if it's an institution and it's got a paved road, there's a coven member in there. There's a coven member in there. I'm going to say that again. There's a coven member in there. And the crux of all of this gang stalking is that they ain't got no integrity, which makes them psyop prostitutes. They found a way to prostitute their ethics. They're two-faced as fuck. And you can't believe a goddamn word any of them say. Because God forbid you do, and they turn around and holy smack you with the goddamn backstabbing, with the throwing of the rocks and the hiding of the hands. It's a whole epidemic, honeys. So, but I would caution everybody, this is the day and age of judgment. This is what 2024 is all about, is judgment. Judgment if you're on the top of the wheel of, if you're on top of the wheel of fortune or on the bottom of the wheel of fortune, it's judgment for everybody. So I would highly encourage you, if you have found yourself on the Nazi end of business, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. You can hit reset and become a warrior of virtue by getting right with your soul, doing your own self-introspection, and then getting back on track and be the moving force to help break the cesspool of children being molested in that, to help decentralize and demobilize human traffic and all of that. Because all of this stuff that you see out in the world, such as the epidemic and infestation of fentanyl, hello, that is a key, that's a component within the cesspool. Any bias that is out in the world, they use that Nazi business of all this gang stalking as part of their tidal wave of motion. So if you find yourself on the dishing out end of the gang stalking, you have the power to help bring it down. But the question is, do you still want to get your grubby paws all dripped up in all of that blood coin? Because anything you earn from that is cursed to begin with. How do you expect your life to prosper when you began to do unethical measures for your blood coin? There's no way that the law of attraction would bring you prosperity when you came by it through the detriment of somebody else. So, but you don't have to stay there. That's my point here. there is an out. There is a way for you to, get right with yourself, hit reset, and, get back on track and stay the course and take some souls with you. But hey, you know what? If you don't want to, that's your fool ass business. I support your idiocracy. I wouldn't go try to backstab you or anything. I just let the guiding force of universal consciousness do the heavy lifting for me. I'm all like, not my business. But it's kind of my business when you're the one throwing the rocks and hiding your hands when it's my back, but whatever. I just stay and just hold the light for everyone. But it's just fair enough to say that as a heavily targeted individual and going to the hospital, this past couple days ago, it was, I graduated to being an indigent when I had my own career, when I was minding my own freaking business. And then boom, gang stalkers by jealousy. I'm all like, okay, I divorced my ex-husband like eons ago, but his mommy is spearheading the witch hunt on my ass by the gang stalking. I'm not a witch, but come to find out, here's a huge crux of the components of this Nazi-ass business being witches and warlocks, that actually do the energetic manipulations of in the 5D. So whatever. I'm just all like, stop it, people. Just knock it off already. And so, but here's the deal. The leveler, as far as me being an indigent, graduated indigent into the medical healthcare world, I've been on the delivery of being the health professional as the paramedic, rocking my gurney, taking care of my patients, being the healthcare advocate. And then so to go from medical professional to indigent on the gurney, it was such a stark contrast. It was a stark dichotomy of day and night. And day and nights in between, just differences. And I will say this. I never strive to be a targeted individual. I mean, who does? Because I'm sure you can sign up for it and get your asshole torn out from underneath you 9 ways from Sunday and see how you like it. And if you're a sunny side up person, you may be able to rise above your circumstance while the stones are being thrown at you and the knives being thrown at you, with all the gossip and slander and everyone looking at you like you're the social pariah. And then everybody gaslighting you, pretending like, I don't know what you're talking about, when they're the freaking mafia of the Nazis. It's like, whatever. But I will say this. I've always been a very well provided for woman. As a child, my father had been a Native American Indian boy and grew up poor on a reservation. And he had enough chutzpah and enough thought work that he was very proactive in how he embraced and tackled life. That whenever I was born, I was very well provided for and cared for. So my mom, she grew up, was it third world country, being the Philippines, but very savvy of mind. So whenever I was brought into the world, I was very well taken care of. And so by the time I was like 17, my dad helped me with my first car. So I had a car, I had a very well governed life. So, my mom, when my dad was in the service, when I was like a kid, like maybe 3-4 years old, my mom was on welfare. And, but they grew together and evolved from that. I never felt anything. I never felt a sense of loss. I never felt a sense of absence of anything. And then so, now, when I was railroaded out of my career as a paramedic, having been targeted heinously, I decided not to renew my license because I mean, the writing was on the wall, bitches. It was just a matter of time before some fool ass was bribed to bear false witness my license. So I shut it down and I kept it down because that's what I had to do to protect my integrity as a healthcare professional. Now, what my employers did behind my back, that's between them and God. I'm like, if somebody wants to propagate slander, I just have to ask the idiot buying into it, what the hell is the matter with them? I'm all like, okay, so you're going to buy into somebody's idiocracy of slandering, of character assassination and devaluing somebody, but you're not going to address any of the issue to the subject in question. I tell you what, those Nazis are pretty good with all of their hellfire and manufactured brimstone. I got caught up in it. They were nailing my ass to the wall. I had a nice, robust scarlet letter. So, but I will say this. Having had been at a socioeconomic disadvantage, I got to see what it was like from the underside. I got to see what it was like from the underbelly in homeless shelters, being a recipient of community resources. I had broken my foot, and when I broke my foot, that was a whole new ball of wax in regards to how I was going to survive, how I was going to manage to get the health care, and then not only figure out the inside nuts and bolts of how I was going to find a way to rise above the broken foot. I had a chance to experience firsthand the audacity, the atrocities of community resources participating in the targeting of individuals. So not only did I get a first-hand good dollop of all of that malarkey, I also had a good inside look at seeing the intricacies of what it was like to be socioeconomically disadvantaged. Because as a very well provided child growing up, I had been very well provided and cared for. I mean, my parents weren't like, aristocratic privileged, but they did well for me and my kid sister. And so I never knew what it was like to actually have to go to homeless shelters as a kid. And so that was 22 on my timer as I said that, because I had been cared for. And then but fast forward to now, having experienced everything I did, I'm all like this. I got a beef with all of you healthcare workers out there running the PSYOP game on the down low by creating the oppression, by creating the destabilization of somebody's peace, by disturbing somebody's peace. I'll say this. Well, okay. The day of judgment is here for everybody. Everybody. And it's not like we've got all these ethical people in the Department of Justice, etc., as evidenced by me. Because nobody has been dispatched to come fill in the ambiguity of my case, let alone deliver me my inheritance. And y'all know it's there. And so why am I not worried about it? Well, because I know the Most High is on the throne. And so whatever God did for Job, I know he can do for me. I know, isn't that absolutely incredulous to say? Because, we got many Bible thumpers out there that'll cherry pick the Bible. I do too, so no insult to those who cherry pick. But then if you're going to, downplay the miracles, how is that going to serve you? I mean, y'all do what you want, but I don't downplay the day of the miracle. I openly accept it and receive it. And so it's just a matter of time that, whenever the good Lord exalts me and my reputation, everybody participating on all that sideways stuff at any chosen one, you guys will be drawn and shanghaied in the public for your business, because it's just all a matter of deductive reasoning. It's all academic. So, it's kind of like this. If you've been targeting an individual and, there's like absolutely like ethical feds, ethical CIA, all they got to do is just follow you to the goddamn watering hole where you get your motherfucking PSYOP assignments from your freaking handlers. Y'all are all busted. So, turn around is fair play, because that Nazi machine has come to a grinding halt, and now we're experiencing its agonal states of deconstruction. So do what you want, but if I were you, I'd grab the bull by the horn while I can and help reset it to bring down the child molesters that you guys all enable in your Sodom and Gomorrah and Babylon of running around with those freaking pigs. So, either way, at least somebody reached out to another gang stalker, buy your targeted individual, buy your food, and said, hey, buddy, stop it already. You deserve more than that. But, it's all good. I just had a very wild ride I could have done without. Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad's ride or adventure ain't got nothing on what I've experienced. Hey, I'm damn near a 30-year survivor of being targeted. You don't get to this age or that tenure without knowing things. I've seen almost all of your freaking templates. So whenever you have somebody come approach me, I can tell you're being coached. It's just logistics. It's the science of anthropology. It's the science, the breakdown of sociology. And then throw in psychology, boom, is logistics. So all you do is just embarrass yourselves. So stop that already. But it's been very interesting going from a healthcare professional to graduating to being an indigent. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, because everything that's ever been thrown at me, I always do my best to make the most out of. So what you guys, when I say you guys, I'm talking to the ops here, what you guys meant for my detriment, bitch, I swallowed and ate brick for brick all of the throwing of the stones and hiding of the hands that you guys did. Now you all get to enjoy all of the stuff that you threw at me and threw at the other targeted individuals. So, you know what is worse than having having unethical Department of Justice and unethical police officers that say, we ain't got no subjective, objective protocol for targeting of the individual or gang stalking? I don't understand it. Explain it to me. While they gaslight the public. Well, I'll tell you what, spiritual jail is worse than any physical jail you could ever encounter. Oh my God, it's so true. So that means you will have to eat brick for brick what poetic justice has designed appropriate for you. And then you're going to have to survive it. Let's put it this way. If I can survive your fool-ass bullshit and all of this Nazi-ass regime you have going on over here in your underground railroad of targeting of the individual and gang stalking, you should be able to enjoy it. But since there are not very many ethical Department of Justice and, the poetic justice, universal balancing forces of the world's got to step in, don't be so surprised that you end up on a gurney with some freak diagnosis. Because that is not a mistake. That is not a coincidence. I mean, how did you think that the good Lord was going to put the smack down on people? I mean, if you're parading as a bloody do-gooder on the outside, but you're a freaking parasite working over your targeted individual to earn blood coin off their detriment, well, there you go. I let the cat out of the bag. Anybody can be taken down health-wise, and I snap if I could. In an instant. I experienced it. It wasn't good. It was the vertigo that did it for me. But the good news is that If you've been one of those neo-Nazis, don't even know you're a fucking Nazi, you're welcome. I trained you up. Project Paperclip, you can thank them for that. And then you don't have to stay a neo-Nazi unless you're just too grubbed out and want more. If you're a freaking blood coin, I'm sure they'll throw whatever you want for you psyop prostitutes. But I'd manage my way to the watering hole of getting your psyop assignments handed to you or wherever, because those handlers, I promise you that whatever feds out there that is the CIA or whoever that are ethical, they know who they are. And they're being followed and monitored. So if you have a psyop assignment for your fucking bloody target over there, you know, with all the nuances that they use with all the technology, bitch, that technology is on you too. Except not for the targeting, but for the busting of it. So I might want to fix that if I were you before you're called out on it. I'm just saying. It's strategy here, you know? It looks much better that way. Rather than get busted and say, okay, I'll tell you everything. No, you don't go do it of your own volition before they come for you with the freaking raid, that door knock with the raid or the freaking handcuffs. Because this gang stalking business, these are hate crimes. These are crimes against humanity, my friends. You guys have been playing with people's lives, putting them in danger. So, if man doesn't nab you, the universe will. And take out the parasites. Because there's enough parasites eroding the fabric of our moral tapestry as it is. And I praise God for everything I had to endure, because I got a real good look at what was going on under the hood in the resources of the community at large. So whenever I am on my next chapter, I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to amend the imbalances. Because, you know, let's put it this way, you sweet little gang stalkers, you're not impervious to being gang stalked. You realize that. They take out their own too, dumbasses. So just because you think you're like a big bad somebody in your hierarchy of your Nazi regime, bitch, which ones are the demons for reals? Oh my God. And then which ones are the reptilians for reals? Oh, okay. All right. Maybe that's a bit TMI right there. But food for thought to broaden your perspective when you're ready for the next level red pill. But yeah, it's been an interesting ride being an indigent, graduated to being a recipient and at the mercy of other healthcare providers. And yeah, I got feedback for the hospital. As another talk for another video. But as it is, for all the gang stalkers out there, you have the power to help end the child molestation of children, to help end the sexual trafficking, not to mention to help put a dent in the fentanyl activities within the context of our country. But you have to lay down your gauntlet and do what you can to report your findings and then go straight. Because the window for that opportunity is very, very, very small. Very small. Because time is ticking here. And consider my shout out to you as a community public service announcement. Because whenever the heavy hammer comes down, I don't care what these people are doing in the 3D flesh. It is God who is on the throne. And the fact that I am still alive is a testimony to the Most High, not to me. Not to me. So if you found my video, it was no coincidence. It was trying to help everybody wake up to what's going on so we can all get in track and, you know, pull our resources together to hit reset stay on track and stay the course, and serve the light. Because it's a spiritual battle out here, and these are the end times and the beginning of the new era. But if you have been unethical, you will be eradicated, because that's what you had bought your avatar into. So as it is, I'm just here to try to get everybody to see nobody's perfect, and just try to get back on track already. And then be the prodigal son, the prodigal daughter, the prodigal family that come home to serve the light, because you have that power to help end the children molestation in that Nazi regime that it is, of targeting of the individual, of the organized community harassment, of all the organized hate crimes that you guys get all sauced up in with your PSYOP assignments. Just know that when you go get those PSYOP assignments from those handlers of yours, those heavy hitters, they've been monitored, and they monitor those interacting with them. So you're already busted. But what you do with that knowledge, you can just pretend what I'm saying is hogwash. That's fine. You're welcome to your fool ass downplay of it. But if you begin to have a sense of conscientiousness, this is your time to grab the bull by the horn and go report to the proper authorities. Make your video confessions and your observations, upload them to YouTube, because that'll help defray somebody coming at you and probably try to snuff you out. I had to do it. That's why I have my video log. And then make your signed affidavits and have them notarized of your observations, and then send them registered mail with the ID number on the body of the letter itself, and then take copies of that and go visit the proper authorities and report what you know and divulge the information of what you know, so that way you're a hero instead of a zero. It's either or. It's polarized, hyper-polarized at that. So, don't take my word for it. I'm an indigent. A happy one at that. But I'm really hoping everybody gets right with themselves, because if you don't, you will be leveled out by the balancing forces of the universal cosmos, because there's a zero tolerance for parasites. At any rate, I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and well, in an upright way, and that you don't target your individuals, because when you get sauced up in all of that blood coin, it's going to come back and eat you up. You don't want that. Bye for now. It's been Patricia and Landon Regali, Chief Little Flower, coming at you from my beloved benefactor, Lori, and her gorgeous home and estate here